All right, I think it's recording. Okay. All right. Hello. This is Melissa May Dillon here, and I'm super excited. I think we have a mix of people, though. Some people may know me. Some people may know my sister Sarah. But I will, if you know me, I'm Melissa. I'm the insurance exam queen. So in 2022, I quit my job. Well, actually, yeah, yes, 2022, I quit my corporate job. I was making about 60,000 a year. I quit my corporate job and I built a business using YouTube. It hit six figures in the first year, seven figures within year two. And we are now a multi-million-dollar business. As I was building my business, I had my sister Sarah in my ear whispering things to me about my human design and about different things that I should do within my business, how I should market, how I should talk to my customers, how I should work with people, how I should communicate with people based on things about my human design. And I will be the first to admit that I don't understand much about the human design, but I will tell you that what she tells me to do or what advice she's given me in relation to my human design, when I do it, it's amazing. And it allows me to be able to build my business and grow my business without feeling like a lot of stress or overwhelm. Or if I do feel those things, I reach out to her and I'm like, hey, I need help. And then she helps me tweak things and figure things out. So I'm super excited to be able to work with her and bring forward both of our skill sets where we can help other people build their businesses. If you can put in the chat, do you have a business or you want a business? So you can put one if you have a business, two if you want a business. So one if you have one, two if you want one. Okay, perfect. And give me a three if you would really love to have a six-figure business, because I built six figures in 1 year. So in the very first year, we were able to get to six figures. Yes, that's amazing, right? Like, who would not want that, right? Like, let's just get out that six figures. Okay, perfect. And we ain't going to be mad if it's 98,000 either, okay? So we're going to celebrate getting up there. All right, I have a business getting close to six figures. Yes, Charmaine, that's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, so what's going to happen here is actually going to be pretty cool. So there's another person in this meeting who actually works for me, and she's helped me create my websites. Oh my gosh, she does all kinds of things. And Sarah has taken her human design chart, and she'll explain more. But what I know is that Sarah's going to review her human her human design chart. We can call her Kayla, because I call her Michaela, but everyone else calls her Kayla. But Kayla is here. She works for me, and Sarah is going to read her human design chart and talk about how she functions and about her business, and then I will confirm. Right, Sarah? Like, how do you want us to do this exactly?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm just a go with the flow type of person. So I've pulled up Michaela's chart. I've looked at it briefly. There were some things that were very loud inside of her chart, some things that made me chuckle because I've had enough interactions with Michaela to already recognize some of these things. So I'm just going to share with you, and I just figured we could just bounce back and forth and just sort of flow. And then the guys that are watching, if you guys have questions about this, let me know. So I know there's a mix of people on here. Some of you guys are more familiar with human design. You've seen a chart before. Maybe I've even read your chart. And then some of you guys may have never even seen a human design chart. So I'm going to try and give the information to all of you guys in a way that, like, in layman's terms, so you can understand it. But I do want to show you guys what I'm actually looking at in the chart, because I do think some of you guys might love looking at the flow of the energy. So really quickly here, if you know nothing about human design, could you put a one in the chart really quick, or in the chat, so I know if we have those guys? Perfect. Okay. So the idea, the concept behind this is that there's a reason why you wanted to come down and have this human experience. There's a reason why you came down here. Maybe you had a mission, a purpose, something that you wanted to experience or bring to this world. And the universe supports you in doing that. Like, our creator, whoever you believe that to be, supports you in doing that. And so you were given an energetic body that was designed perfectly for you, with all of the skill sets and the natural energetic abilities and gifts was already given to you at the day that you were born, so that you were supported in bringing that mission to the planet. However, we don't live within our design. We're conditioned to do things outside of how we were designed to do them. We're conditioned by our parents, by our pastors, by our teachers, by our society, our culture. And so we start to operate in ways that we were taught to operate instead of doing what feels most natural to us. So there's two ways that I look at a human design chart. One is it's sort of like a manual for your energy. It tells us how your energy is designed to be used, how you were designed to make decisions, how you were designed to speak. Some of us have consistent access to a throat, which means that we can speak whenever we want. Some of us do not, and we struggle with speaking when it's our turn to speak. And then those of us that do have defined energy in our throat, we're designed to speak with certain voices. And if we've been conditioned to use a voice other than what we've been given in our design, people can't hear us. No matter how great it is, no matter how great our message is, people can't hear us if we're speaking in a voice that we weren't designed to speak from. So I look at it like the manual, like what are the do's and don'ts of your design, but I also look at it like a map where you can see how this energy moves through you and how it actually comes out. So we're going to do that with Michaela's, because Michaela has a very interesting design. I have not seen a design that looks just like this before. So I'm really interested in showing this to you guys. So the first thing that I'm going to do is share my screen so you guys can see. Okay, so this is a visual version of these charts. Now you can pull this chart online. We can give you guys that information after this in the group to get this going. So the first thing, Melissa, I want to talk to you about is, the first thing I noticed is we have something called an incarnation cross. In layman's term, this is like, what tribe did you come down here with? The tribe all have the same like umbrella mission, even though each person is individually playing out their own journey on how they're contributing to the tribe's mission. Did you know, Melissa, that Randy, Michaela, and Wendy are all in the same tribe? Which is crazy to me. They all came down here for the same reason. So if you guys don't know, what is Randy to you, Melissa?
She is my COO, Chief Operations Officer. She essentially does the day-to-day operations of being able to run my insurance exam queen business.
Perfect. And then Michaela does all of the like design back-end work, right?
Yeah, the website, design work, coding, things like that. Yeah, she does a lot of stuff.
So Randy and Michaela both came to this planet for the exact same mission, and they both somehow ended up working for you, which I think is really, really cool. The mission here is, let me see, I wrote this down, the exact verbiage, because I love the way they said this. People call Randy and Michaela into their life when they need to make a change or find a new direction. So Melissa, if you're trying to make a change or find a new direction, these are the people that are best supported to help you in doing that. So I thought it was kind of interesting that both of them are on this planet to do that, and both of them were attracted to your business, or you were attracted to both of them. Okay, so all right.
When I think about when exactly, I hired them for exactly those reasons too. Like I needed to make a change and go in a different direction in my business for what I was doing when I hired each of them.
Yeah. And you know what, I kind of want to go a little bit off topic here, but in working with human design for the last couple of years with my clients and seeing how this actually manifests, sometimes it's as clean as that, right? When Melissa says, I need this in my business, and then she ends up attracting people who are what she needs to do that thing in her business. But sometimes we actually attract people who are going to help us develop the characteristics that we need behind the scenes to show up inside of that business. So sometimes it's like they're coming to help mold the actual business itself, and sometimes they're coming to help mold you to show up for the business. So it's even the pain in the ass employees, as I like to call them, are like usually here to provoke something in you so that you can become the leader that you need to become. But it's really cool to look at these charts and how they interact with each other, because Michaela's energy is impacting Melissa's energy, and Melissa's energy is impacting Michaela's energy. So it's important that we understand how. So can you guys see, like when I move this cursor, can you guys see this or no?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is an energetic representation of the way energy moves inside of her body. Okay, everybody who pulls a chart is going to have these elements in there, but the colors will look different. So these shapes are the chakras. And each chakra is designed to do a different thing for us. And the colored in chakras, those are called defined centers. That means that Michaela was born already knowing how to use these. This is like where she's like solidified. This is like concrete. It's going to be really hard for her to be conditioned or manipulated in these areas. So I want to show you what these areas are, and Melissa, just get your take on this. So the first thing is the head, which means she's already pretty set on the way she thinks. You know, she's pretty like closed-minded on the way that she sees information. Okay, so the next one here, look at how full this is of energy. This is the ajna. This is all about processes. This is all about logic. This is all about how she processes the data that she thinks about. So again, it's very concrete. The more color we see in here, the more defined it is. So not only is she like pretty closed-minded, but she's very like, this is how I do things, and it has to be done this way. Okay, and then she's designed to tell you those things. So see how the energy, not only does it fill the head, it comes down what we call this channel here, and that connects it to the ajna, the ideas or the processes, and then that comes down into the throat. So what this tells us is that she's designed to think a specific way, she's designed to process a specific way, and then she's designed to tell us about it using her throat. Has that been your experience with Michaela so far, Melissa?
I am dying. Like this is so complete and accurate. Like everything that you just explained, because she's the one who kind of creates some of our systems, especially like on our website, our enrollments, our emails, the way that we set things up. Like she's like, it needs to be like this, you have to do it this way. She very much speaks to what she's saying, and she's very dead set on the process in which she wants to do it and how it should be done. Now, of course, she will, as an employee, say, I'll do what you say, boss, but it really should be like this. And
Yeah.
she's very set on how it should be.
Yeah, and this is really, really cool. I want to show this to you guys. So I know some of you guys have never seen this before, and I don't want to get lost in too many details, but essentially when we see these colored lines in here, see there's a number on each side of these lines. Each one of those numbers represents an energetic gift that Michaela has. And when those energetic gifts come together and that full line is complete, it unlocks like a superpower. I like to think of this as like a video game, and this is like an avatar, and you know, like these are gifts that we have, or gifts that are in our design. And you know, when you're thinking about characters in a video game, sometimes that character just automatically has a gift, like it's just what comes to them. And then other times you have to like do something to activate that gift. Like I think of Mario has to touch the feather in order to be able to fly, right? So the colored areas are all the gifts that Michaela just already has in her tool belt. She can just pull them out anytime that she wants. So when I look at this line here, 17, for example, is the energy of opinion. She was designed to have an opinion. I know. She was designed to have an opinion, right? Now, this is really important as her boss to understand. She also has gift 62 attached to that. 62 is data. So not only does she have the opinions, but she has the data to back up her opinions. Now, sometimes somebody will have 17, but not 62. So they'll all talk, they're giving you all the opinions, but they're falling flat because there's no data to actually support the opinion. Or the opposite, they have all the data, but they're so overwhelmed with the data, they're missing the 17 and they can't formulate an opinion because there's too many opinions because there's just so much data. So she has both, which means that she's always in high vibration. She's always in a position to access a good opinion for you and to give you an opinion that's supported by data. And this, Michaela, for you, I know you're just listening, but This for you is evidence that you have this ability. For you, it's just about staying in high vibration. So it's about understanding that your gift of opinions is to support you in coming up with good solutions. It's not to get caught in being opinionated for the sake of like being judgmental or like, you know, not everybody else, right? It's meant to be used in high vibration. So this is a really strong gift that she has here. Now, when we look at this next channel gift that she has, this energy is all about quantum leaps. This energy is all about taking something and seeing it and noticing that it could be so much bigger than what it is. And it's the magical energy behind it to help it leap into that space, right? So I know, I don't know very much about your business, but I do remember you telling me that the moment you brought her on, within like a couple months, something significant happened in like the growth of your business or the money. Is this
It was,
ringing?
I mean, it was almost immediate when she implemented her designs with the homepage. I mean, I was at about 20,000 a month in January. She started around March, April, and then we quickly shot up to $50,000. And then as we've been, you know, obviously fine tuning, we've gotten up to 100,000 a month.
That's a beautiful, like, one of the things that I want to highlight here is that there is like this way that we can tap into these gifts, make sure we're in high vibration, be intentional about, you know, having our employees use these gifts or having ourselves use these gifts. But also there is something to be said about just bringing someone's energy into your business automatically shifts the energetic makeup of what that business looks like. Before we manifest into a physical reality, it starts off as energy. Before anything, there's an idea. An idea is energy, right? And so it's like the energy comes before the physical. And so a lot of times, just by hiring the right person in high frequency, something will shift inside of the energetic makeup of the company, and before they even get started. So I love that you're seeing that. That's supported by this. Now you can see here, because this these like lines are so full here, she's really supposed to bring that energy of, this is what I think and this is how I process information. I'm supposed to bring it to the audience through my throat here. Now we see on this side, she has 56, which is about stimulation. This is a storyteller. This is somebody who wants to give you the little pop pop in the story and pull you in and engage you in the conversation. What she's missing here is the 11, which is the energy of the teacher. But guess who has that energy? Is Melissa, right? So Melissa has the ability to teach the energy, but sometimes Melissa can get lost, and the story is not always as stimulating because she doesn't always have access to stimulation, where Michaela does. So together, you guys actually have all of the energy that you could possibly have, all of the gifts activated that you possibly have, to bring ideas and concepts through the voice and shared with other people. So this is really, really cool. Now, when we see the top of this, remember this is like a map. So she's bringing these gifts around concepts and ideas. She's bringing them down to the throat. But then these bottom numbers, this is all more about like, but why are you the person that I want bringing these? Like, who are you to be bringing me this advice? Okay. Like, this energy tells us more about the authority. Okay. So she has gate 8, which gate 8 is all about I contribute. Okay, I contribute. That's the voice here. So the way that she gets people to allow her to bring all this information to her is to constantly be focusing on what she is bringing, what she is contributing to it. So if Melissa was working with her, even if she had all of these amazing ideas, if Michaela never connected the dots between how these ideas can actually contribute to what Melissa is building, if Melissa can't see that, Michaela's energy and her magic falls flat. So the one thing that I have noticed inside of the meetings that I've been in with Melissa and Michaela is that there's a lot of understanding on how what Michaela does contributes to the company, and that's really, really important. Now, the contribution is coming from the G center, which is all about her identity. So it's like, I can bring this to you because of who I am, and who she is connected to a sacral, which means she's uber creative. This is somebody who wants to create, right? So there's two parts of her that you know are sandwiching the throat. There's this part of her that's very logical, very structures based, very like there is a way to do things, very black and white thinking. And then there's a part of Michaela that is very like flowy and, you know, creative, and I just want to make things, and what do you think about these colors, right? And those two people connect, and then she voices all of that to the potential people that she's working for. Now what's really interesting is this is who she is. This is who she is. She is here to empower wisdom, guidance, and advice to other people on how they can access their own power. So she's really here to help you access your own power and get that out in a creative way as well as a structured process way. Do you see this playing out in her role with you?
I'm smiling so much. Everything you're saying is like dead accurate to how it functions with us.
It's really, really beautiful to see that you've allowed her to be in this gift, because that's what I noticed too. When I was looking at this, I was like, I can clearly see how Michaela has been showing up in this way, but a lot of that's because you give her the freedom to do this. Now let's talk about the maybe some of the areas or the challenges that could show up with her design inside of the business, and see if those resonate or if you guys have figured out some ways to get over those things. So the first thing is that she is a Manny Gen like me, which means she wants to do all the things, different things. It has to be different things all the time. If you're trying to do the same thing over and over again, it's like she wants to peel her eyes out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, again, I have to do this. So one of the things that's going to be really important for her is always giving her something new to work on, which I feel like you've done a good job of doing that. It seems like she's always working on something different.
I think so too.
So the next thing is her profile. So she is really, really good at learning through problems. So what that means is I have to fail my way to success. I just have to like play with it. So somebody in this role, or somebody with this profile, somebody with a 3-line, for those of you guys online that knows what this means, she's a 3-line. A 3-line will naturally attract problems to them so that they can start to see what's wrong with the world or with the processes or with the business, so that they can help come up with a solution and help rise above the problem. But in low vibration, that looks like somebody who's constantly seeing the problems. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't do that. Well, what about this? Well, what about this? Right? And so you have to find a way to balance this out and take all the problems that she's seeing with a grain of salt. And for you, Michaela, what works really well here is for you not to share your problems, not to speak on the problems you see, but instead speak on the solutions that you arrived at after you privately noticed the problems. So do you want to speak on that, Melissa, just if you've noticed this at all?
Yeah, I mean, Michaela will definitely present the problems, but she does also, you know, state the solution, or I'll say figure it out. Like recently we were offering gift cards to, you know, the public, but our website doesn't really have the option of buying gift cards. And I was like, and she was like, well, there's this problem and this problem. I'm like, figure it out. I was like, you know, like put it on the docket, whatever. And then came back later and she's like, I have the solution, everything's set up and we're ready to go.
Beautiful, beautiful. So it's like for you, Melissa, this is great for you to understand that she has the gift and the ability to figure it out when you toss that ball back to her. So you're handling it beautifully by just giving it right back to her and saying, okay, figure it out. That's what you're good at. Figure it out. And not making the problem your problem, right? Because sometimes when we're working with the 3-line and they're constantly bringing us problems, if we don't have 3-line energy in us, that can often feel like defeat for us. Like, oh my God, my team member is just bringing me all these problems. Like, are we even on the right track here? Like, maybe we should just scrap this. It kind of depends on if that leader is confident in their vision enough to look past those problems. So, okay, so that's the 3-line. Then the other thing is, remember how I told you that her biggest gift is empowering wisdom, guidance, and advice? This is all about helping other people to access their power. So when Michaela's in her divinity, when she's high vibe, like that's what she's really bringing the group is, hey guys, we're finding a way, like here's my advice and my guidance to really help you harness this power. But if she's having a bad day, if she's in low vibration, if she's just not showing up as her best self, the way that this comes across is a power trip and insisting that others bend to her will. So she might get stuck on, no, it has to be this way. So this actually works really well that you're her boss. Are you laughing?
Yeah.
Have you seen this
Yes.
side of her?
Yes, but not in a way that has become a problem.
Yes, correct. Yes. And that's what I've noticed too, is you guys have really, like, when I was looking at this, I was like, I see so much of Michaela's gifts, and I see so little of you guys being like offended or triggered by what those gifts bring. Because it's like you, Melissa, you're a manifestor, which means your energy is always on 100. It's always bold. It's always loud. It's like when the lights are off and then all of a sudden your neighbor turns on that bright light and you're like, officer, no. Like that's how your energy is. It's just very a lot. But you know, if people don't know that about you, right, then and they don't know how, they don't know to expect that you're a lot, and they don't understand the gifts of the allotness, right? Like they don't see the value in the allotness. It can be overwhelming to people. And then what they do is they could try and shut you out or turn the light down without realizing the power inside of that light, right? It's not about pushing that light out. It's about letting that light shine, but being okay with the uncomfortableness of how bright that light can be. So for her, it's like, yes, we want your opinion. Yes, we want your insight. Yes, we want your ideas, you know, and when you come on too forceful with them, it's like for you to be able to just go, that's just Michaela. She's passionate about what she's doing. And then I'm going to make the decision to say yes or say no, right? Like, and not take it personally. That's allowing the energy that you guys both have to work for each other instead of tear each other apart, which is ironically one of the reasons why Michaela's here. She's really big on equality over division, and I've actually heard her speak to this about like inclusion and making sure that everybody's involved. One of the really big one of her really big core values in her design is inclusion and anti-division. It's like, how can we bring everybody together? So I love the fact that your energy does not get offended by hers. I almost wish she was willing to speak because there's so many questions I want to ask her about this. Like, have you noticed? Okay, so let's talk about all the open areas. So the open areas are the areas where she's not going to be as confident, where she's going to be easily manipulated, where somebody has been, you know, able to condition her. This is also where instead of her pushing energy out, she is taking energy in. So instead of her like shining out her gifts, this is what she absorbs from the earth around her. Now, the way that we want to think about her openness is this openness was given to her because it supports her in doing her job better. But a lot of people don't understand how to get to that point. So let me explain further. She has an open heart center. This is all about willpower, and this is all about self-worth. Because hers is super open, she is taking in the energy of other people and how they feel about their self-worth and how they feel about their value. She's taking that in all day. The gift here is that she's able to know what the collective feels about their own self-value. Now, as somebody who's here to guide people in a different direction, it suits her to understand that everybody around her is struggling with self-worth and value. However, like I said, instead of noticing the problem and finding the solutions, she can sometimes notice the problem, notice the problem, notice the problem, notice the problem, notice the problem. So if she's noticing this problem of everybody around me is lacking, you know, like self-worth, everybody's questioning themselves, everybody's really insecure, she takes that on. And if she's not careful, she starts to think that's her. So then she goes, I lack self-worth, I lack value. These people have a really hard time charging what they're worth. I have this too. They have a hard time charging what they're worth, right? And so one of the things that Michaela told me, I asked her, I said, do you feel like Melissa has brought you anything? And she said, the biggest thing working with Melissa has done for me is it's done wonders for my self-worth. She was like, I just feel so much more valuable, right? And she shared a story about being able to charge what she was worth. Now, what's interesting about this is even though she's completely open here, Melissa, you are completely defined here. This is where I'm bad, I'm beautiful, like there's, you're gonna love me the way that I am. You just have that about you consistently because you have a defined heart center here. So you gift that to her just by being in her presence. All of a sudden she can feel that self-worth, that knowing that she's, she's good. So that's this heart center. Now down here we have the solar plexus. This is all about emotions. That means she's pulling in everybody's emotions. She knows what everybody's feeling around her. That's a superpower to help her do a job better. But the downfall of that is she can feel everybody's emotions. So if she's around someone who's sad, she's sad. If she's around somebody who's angry, now she feels angry, right? We call this an empath. So she's feeling what everybody's feeling, and she's sensing everybody's lack of self-worth. And then down here, the root center, that's stress. When other people are stressed, I feel they're stressed, and that freaks me out, right? And then last but not least, she has an open spleen, completely open. Look how open this spleen is. I mean, it's like days before you see any color around this spleen. Spleen is all about safety. So there's going to be a part of her that questions, am I safe? This is really scary, but I fear this. So when you put all those together, she has the makings of somebody who can very easily be overwhelmed by their emotions, stressed out by other people's stress, and scared about what this could potentially mean, what bad things could potentially happen from this. And so what's important here is for her to have, whatever tools or resources she needs and whatever support she needs to be emotionally regulated, to have ways of dealing with stress. Sometimes, Melissa, that just might mean you giving her reassurance that this is not something she has to stress out about. Like even just hearing that this is not something I need to stress about will help her, right? And then understanding that because that spleen is wide open, which for you, Melissa, your spleen is your authority. That's actually your strongest center, which is one of her weakest centers, right? So you can be the voice of reason and can say, listen, we're not going to die. Like my spleen has already told me we're not going to die by doing this. So it's all good. And just reassuring her whenever she has that fear that something bad may happen, that you and Michaela, you can trust that what's guiding Melissa is safety. So if Melissa wants to make a decision, her body will innately tell her if it's not safe to make it. So you don't have to worry so much about any fears that come up around decisions that you guys make. That was a lot.
Yeah, that honestly does speak like it hasn't been as much lately, or I think really at all. But there was a good period of time where Michaela expressed a lot of fears about me either being taken advantage of or just the fact that I talk about how much money I make, and what that's going to mean. And the whole time I'm like, I want to be the evidence for people. I'm not going to run around in fear. Like I want to be evidence to people that you can quit your job, build a business, run your own life, have freedom, earn your worth. And if I'm not telling people what I'm making, then there's no evidence, there's no proof, that you can do it. So I'm going to profess it no matter what. I'm going to talk about it no matter what. And there was times where Michaela really, kind of struggled with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I love about human design is it just gives us some clarity to understand why that's happening, right? Like we are so good as a society of once we label something, then we're able to understand or give it compassion, right? So if you see a kid acting out and you're like, what the hell's wrong with that kid and that parent? And then all of a sudden they turn on like, oh, sorry, my kid has X, Y, and Z. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like now I can be, like accepting of them, right? Because it's like for some reason our brain, it's so weird, but it's like our brain like needs that permission to accept this about this person. The more that I started working with human design, the more that I started to realize that there's nothing wrong with anybody. Like everybody is designed perfectly the way that they were supposed to be designed. It's whether or not they're being allowed to express themselves in the highest vibration, or if they're showing up as the lowest vibration. When we look at human design, every single gift that you see highlighted in human design has what we call a shadow. Every single gift. If you are trapped in the shadow of your gift, there's no way you're going to show up as your best authentic self. But a lot of us are living in the shadows not understanding. And then when we go on this healing journey, we have this attitude of, I need to rid myself of these shadows. I need to break myself of this habit, or I need to break myself of this characteristic, without realizing that the habit or the characteristic was never the issue. The vibration at which you express that habit or that behavior is the issue. Here's an example. Thomas Edison most likely had the energy of innovation. This is about invention. This is about creating something that has never been created before. In order for somebody to come down on this planet and create something that that's never been created before, they have to have a resilience. They have to have a perseverance. They have to have the type of energy when everybody is telling them, give up, leave, this is futile, this isn't working, like, why are you spending all this time on this? They have to have the type of energy that says, no, I will persist no matter what. I see this vision, I want this thing, I'm gonna go after it, right? Like, how many times did the light bulb fail before he finally got it to work, right? Now, if he's in high vibration, applying that energy, applying those skill sets and those characteristics to his vision, his God-given vision of this light bulb, everything works out and he ends up doing what he came down here to do. But in low vibration, that's addiction. I'm persistent. I can't stop. I'm resilient. Everybody's telling me no. Everybody's telling me to leave this alone, but I just can't. Like, I'm almost obsessed with having this thing. Addiction's not the problem. The person having an addictive personality is not the problem. It's that they're addicted to something besides their vision, besides their purpose, besides their mission, their vision. And that's what human design is all about, is about helping people express themselves in the highest vibration. But if it's in the low vibration, we see it as a fault instead of as a gift. So it's really beautiful to start to put these pieces together and to start to see the beauty in people. I used to shy away from 3 lines because I didn't like healing problems. But when I realized that the only reason why 3 lines talk so much about problems is because they're actually here for solutions, then it was easier for me, because now when I hear a problem from a 3 line, I can just say, what solution have you come up with, instead of being like, you're so negative. So what questions do you have, Melissa? Or does anybody else on the line have questions about what we're talking about?
I mean, it's just super cool. Every time, like, I know you know stuff about human design. You tell me the stuff I need to do. And every time I hear you speak about it and go into it, it just blows my mind with the accuracy, with like the pinpointing of the certain things. Like, if you guys here now didn't watch on my sister's Facebook, I think I uploaded it to my YouTube channel. I'll double check, but she did a reading of one of my friends who has a lawyer practice, and just the things that she said, and Lena's just nodding her head like, yes, all of this is accurate, all of this is true. Like, it's just wild how there's so many things about ourselves that we don't know. And if we knew these things, if we understood these things, we could also just be less harsh on ourselves. Like, you know, Michaela could beat herself up, you know, for being like, I have all these opinions, and you know, because we say, you know, people generally say opinions suck, you know, like nobody wants your opinion. But her opinions have helped me really drive my business and perfect my business in ways that I didn't think about or consider. Yes. And then her gifts of also being, you know, very inclusive. I mean, we've had arguments about what font we're using. And she's like, this font is not inclusive for people. They're going to struggle to see it. You need to switch it to this font. And there are certain hills that she will die on so that she can make sure everyone's included. And I honestly, I do love that about her, because it is, you know, like it is important. And so I really do appreciate all her talents and what she brings, and being able to like see her chart and everything you said, like I already know that to be true. Like I already, like, yes, of course. And just the confirmation that this is in the human design I'm still mind blown when I hear about the human design and the chart and stuff like that.
It's really cool. And she's a 6 line, which means that a lot of her magic is post 6 or post 50 years old. And so it's like, it's such a perfect time for her to really embrace, you know, all of this and go wild with it. But you know what Melissa's talking about, it's so simple that we overcomplicate it. Like when I started just implementing my design, it was wild how things work. I'll give you guys this example. I am a Manny Jen who cannot do long commitment. That means that I'm excited about many things, but when I release something, I can't be committed to it for a very long time because my sacral, my gut, will want to do something else really quickly. I have like an energetic bunny. What is the word that I'm thinking of? The Energizer bunny. I have like an Energizer bunny quality about me. Next. So I used to hear you can't do that. You have to niche. I used to hear that all the time. You have to niche. You have to like pick what it is that you're going to do for a career if you're going to make this work. Okay. I also heard that somebody has to see something 7 times before they buy it. My degree is in business. And then I have a concentration in marketing. So I learned a lot about marketing to people, right? And then I also was in my master's of psychology. So learning the psychology behind people. So I was constantly learning, like, this is how you have to do it. These are the colors you have to use for people to like, you know, what your flyer is, this. So I was doing everything by the book when I first started my business. I was doing things the way that I learned to do them. But as a Manny Janet said, it's okay to be messy. And it's okay to do a bunch of things. Like whatever's lighting you up, just do that. And I said, what happens if I just trust this? So I started doing that, right? Then I am also designed to use my gut in the moment to make decisions, not think about decisions, not plan decisions, not make sure that things are going to go right when I make a decision, not figure out the how when I need to make a decision. I literally am designed to make a decision in the moment based on how my gut feels about the thing. And so as I've started to learn this about myself, I just trust that if I just do this, everything will work out, even though it goes against all of the schooling and all of the things that I was told about how marketing works and how to get people to buy and blah, 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 blah. So about 2 months ago, I had this idea come in my brain and it said, I want you to hold an event and I want you to talk about this topic. Okay. So how can we relate this to us and our business going forward? Perfect. You're going to learn about your human design and you're going to do exactly what I'm telling you right now. So I said, okay, I have this idea that came to me, right? And the idea was speak on this, hold an event on this, right? And I was so excited about it that I actually created the flyer. And as soon as the flyer was created, I expected to hear my sacral say, yes, post it. But instead, my sacral said no. I have learned that when my sacral says no, to listen to it, even though my brain says something else. So the next day, I check in with my gut, no. Now my brain starts to say, but the event's in 2 weeks. And if you don't start posting now, nobody's going to buy the event because people need multiple weeks in advance to know whether they're going to be able to come to an event. So I check back in with my sacral and she says, no. Now, this was one of the really hard things for me to learn when I first started implementing my human design is I'm designed to listen to my gut, not my head. So I have to be stronger. I have to be mentally stronger than my own brain to be able to put it in its place and say, I don't care all the evidence that you have that tells me I need to do business this way. My gut is telling me to hold off on posting. About a week later, I'm having this experience and I'm reminiscing about this ceremony that I went to. And I was like, wow, this ceremony needs to be at this event that I've been thinking about, right? So I reach out to the woman who does the ceremony and I said, what do you think about coming into this event with me? And she's like, I'd love to do that. I'm like, awesome, let's do it. We picked a new date and we decided we're going to roll forward. A couple days go by. She's like, are you going to post about it? I said, no, my sacral still says, wait. She's like, okay. So then a couple days later, I check back in. My sacral still says, wait. And my mind is freaking out because it's like, well, we need to post. And then all of a sudden, 3 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and it says, go post. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now. I go post, right? We have 15 tickets available. We sell 11 tickets in the first 24 hours, and then we sold out today. Where's the 7 times that I had to post about it? Where's the colorful font that I had to use? Where's the email blast I had to do? Where's the link? I didn't even have a link for people to pay. It was literally like, just send me money through Cash App or Zelle. And people, where? How do I get it? How do I get it? The moment that you start to operate inside of your design, not the way your parents told you, your professor told you, the girl next door told you, the girl who's already done it that you've been idolizing told you, when you stop doing all that and you start to say, there is something in me that is unique to me and what I came here to do. And when I can tune into that, obstacles move out of my way, the path aligns, and all of a sudden, all the resources I need, the money that I need, the people that I need to make my mission happen, happens. That's going to take place because you're supported in doing what you came down here to do, not all the second bests and the makeshifts and the maybe to-dos and the distractions that you've been focused on, but truly why you came here and what it is that you feel called to do. So let me look at this chat because I saw some things come through. Okay. Oh my gosh, there is a lot in here that I did not see coming through as we were chatting.
Yeah, so I want to, okay, I can jump on in here real quick. So Emma says, how can we relate this to us and our business going forward? So the thing about human design, as we wanted to be able to express here, is that everyone's chart is uniquely different. There would be no way for us in this 1 hour to be able to look at everybody's chart and be able to give them insights. It's very important that you know, you either work with someone who understands your chart and can tell you it, or you got to learn how to be able to read your chart from someone who doesn't. So we wanted to be able to show you what a chart looks like, how certain things connect, how it relates to business, so that you guys can see the power of understanding your human design while you're working, while you're running a business, while you have coworkers, employees, and things like that. So our desire is to actually bring you along with us, because we are going to take a journey together. Sarah and I are going to run a group program called Learn How You're Designed to Do a Business. In this program, you are going to learn how to read your chart and how to know how to operate within your business. Sarah has to trust your gut, but that may not be your design. So everyone's design is uniquely different, and it requires you being able to look at your chart and to be able to decipher it. It can be a lot really overwhelming to try to do this on your own without guidance for someone who's been studying the charts. Because to be quite honest, human design is a lot of information. And one thing I'll say about my sister, and I'm sure it's in her chart, is that she's able to grab what is most important, most relatable, most necessary for the current moment that you're in, for the current situation that you're in, and give you that information. Because I will tell you, every time we meet up in person and she's talking about human design, she'll tell me something new and different about my human design. But it's like, and there's so much to learn, constantly so much to learn. But our desire right now is to be able to get people's charts in front of them, learn the key things that are going to help them build and grow a business sustainably without losing all of their energy, without feeling frustrated, without banging their head against the wall, without seeing any success. We want you to be able to feel successful and confident in your choices, knowing that you're operating in your design, using your energies and your gifts the way that they're meant to be used, and not simply following someone else's strategy just because it's their strategy and it works for them. Not everybody is supposed to do what I've done the way that I do it. And I would much rather you be empowered with your own human design than simply say, well, Melissa started a YouTube channel and taught classes and I can do that. That may be what you do, but the way in which you talk about it, the way in which you market it, the way in which you work with people could be totally different with your human design. So Sarah and I, starting in January, we are going to run, I think we said a 4-week course working together where you guys are analyzing your human design chart, pulling the pieces that are specific to being able to run and operate a business. And then I will be adding in my business stuff, because a big thing about my human design is that when I look at someone's business, I can tell them what they need tweaked or how to grow it, or identify like how to create more money within the business. This is my talent. So we are going to be starting in January. I'm going to drop the link here in the chat so you can take a look at it. we don't start until January, and we're not doing any type of, because it never feels aligned to me to do like you must buy it now type of thing. So this is something you if it fits for you, it'll work for you. Like if you want it, it's available, but we're not going to make any scarcity or anything like that. But you can purchase it up until the start date. Once we start, it'll be closed doors, so no one will be able to get in at that point. Now, to Sarah's point that she is a Manny Gen, there is no guarantee that we will be doing this program again. So if you want to make sure you get it so that you can have it, because we don't know if we will be doing this again or exactly how we'll be doing it, if it'll look different. And as I'm working on Sarah's worthiness, she needs to significantly raise her prices. So this course, I told her, I was like, at a minimum, I said, Sarah, we are talking to business owners. I was like, they are willing to invest. I have invested over $100,000 in my own personal development, and I will pay big money for something that I know is going to help me in my business. So I said, at a minimum, we should be charging at least $2,000 for this course. And I was like, and that's on a low end. But Sarah was like, I can't do it. So we're somewhere between 800 and 900. I don't remember. Michaela runs my website, so they're the one who set it all up. But if you click the link, you can.
997.
Okay, yeah, if you click the link, you can find out what it is. So this is, and we're not changing the price from this point forward. It's staying as it is until the start date of January 6th. Now, if you want this and you're like, I want this, and that $997 scares me. I have on my YouTube channel, my Melissa May Dillon YouTube channel, I have this magic money meditation where when people listen to it, they manifest the amount of money that they need to buy it. And it has, in the last program that I did, it was $888. And I think 4 to 6 people, I don't remember the exact number, listened to that magic money meditation and manifested the money out of the most craziest places. So if you're like, this is for me and I want this, what I need you to do is trust yourself that if this is for you, it's going to be for you and it's going to happen. I don't want you to max out a credit card. I don't want you to worry about it. I want you to feel good and excited and be like, I can't wait to see how the money shows up for me to be able to, get this course. And if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't land for you, I want you to trust that as well. That for whatever reason, there's a purpose, there's a reason, it's going to be okay. Okay. So there's no pressure here. Let me get the link. There's absolutely no pressure. If it feels right, if it feels good, great. If you're at the stage where you're like, this is still a lot and I don't quite get it and I don't quite understand how it's going to help me, continue to stay in our Facebook group. We have the Facebook group, I Am Designed for Business. Continue to be around it and see some evidence of how this works for other people. And just allow yourself to slowly absorb the information. If you're not like, this is all in, I want to do this right now, great. Just hang around, hang out for a minute, feel it out and see if it's aligned for you or not. I know Sarah and I will continue to talk about human design and talk about running a business. But again, I don't know what exact program we're going to be doing next. And I don't know if I'll be able to get Sarah. I think I'll be able to get Sarah to raise her prices significantly. So this will be probably one of the cheapest offers we ever throw out together. So, but again, if it's not in alignment for you to get it right now, if we do raise when we sell the next thing we do at 2,000, I know that you'll manifest the money you need for that. If it's meant for you, if it's meant for you, you're going to have it. Like if you're supposed to be there, you'll be there. All right. So thank you. I dropped my magic money meditation, but it's on the Melissa May Dillon YouTube. And then Michaela has dropped the link to the Facebook group in the chat as well. So I know I don't really have, I got 4, I have to be a quick stop at the hour mark, but 4 minutes if anybody has any quick questions you guys have. Okay. Stacy says I need to learn to listen to your intuition.
I'm totally freaked out. I'm totally freaked out about this.
Oh, there's so much more.
This is all new to me. So, but the evidence is truly there. Melissa and I, we've been working together for a year and a half. I would say the first 9 months were a struggle between me getting on her nerves about the things I harp on about. But she now lets me do my thing. I get to fly and I produce my best work at the moment. And
Yes.
I think it's reflected in in our income as well.
Absolutely.
Our as in hers.
Well, thank you for being so vulnerable and letting us use your chart.
And the funny thing is, I think Randy is very similar to me because we are her little worker bees, and when we have to find a solution, we just bounce off each other until we get there.
Yes.
And it's magical. It really is. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to do that. Well, we love you guys. Thank you. Please feel free to post questions that you have in the Facebook group. And then we can go from there.
Yeah. We love you all. And check out the other, we also did, Sarah and I went live on Facebook, and I believe I put it on my YouTube channel as well. And I'll make sure we get all these links shared in the Facebook group. But she's read my chart before. She actually even did a relationship reading between David and I. So human design is more than just your business. It's literally everything about you. So she explained how David and I like light each other up in like all kinds of different ways on our human design, which was like so accurate. And this was before she even really met him, which was funny too. She even knows him now more, but so you can use human design for just about anything. Now, if you also just want a really quick private one-on-one reading, I believe Sarah offers something like that within her business. So if you're like, I'm not interested in a group course, but I really want to hone in on my human design, then that's available to you. And we do have a spot for a like one-on-one client VIP, because everything's going to be in a group session for the 997. But if you're like, I really just want direct access to Melissa and Sarah to be able to ask all my questions and be fully supported, we do have an option for that. Just reach out to me and we can start talking about it to see if it's a fit for you, because it is a 5-figure investment to work with us to that level. But you would see amazing moves within your business. So I'm super excited. Pat says, Sarah, do you have a website explaining human design?
I just dropped my website on there. It doesn't go into a whole lot of explanation about human design. It just has the offers that I have, but my inbox is open. So if you would like to know more about that, you can hit me up in my DMs. And I also have a few videos floating around there about what human design is, so I can track those down and send those to you guys as well. For some reason, my cycle, Emma, is telling me to do a little mini reading for you through the group. So Emma, if you're in the group with us, if you could reach out to me, Emma Beckett, if you could reach out to me privately and we can get your chart, I would love to hop into the group and do like a little mini training for you, or a little mini reading for you.
Yeah, that's perfect. Emma is my energetic doppelganger in England.
Oh, beautiful. Well, I don't know. My cycle's telling me to look at her chart, so
that's awesome. Yes.
I'll do that.
I love you guys. I gotta go. Have an amazing day. We'll put out this recording into the Facebook group as well, and I probably on my YouTube channel too.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.